Hello everyone and welcome. If you are learning the Temenos T24 Securities module, this course will help you understand how securities transactions are processed inside the system. In this course, we walk through the complete life cycle of a securities transaction from the initial setup all the way to final settlement. Let me quickly show you the structure of the course. In section 1, we begin with an introduction to the securities module. Here we understand what the securities or SC module is in Temenos T24. We also discuss the difference between front office, middle office, and back office operations in securities processing. We explore the types of financial instruments handled in the system, including shares and bonds. And we understand the difference between customer transactions and own book transactions. This section builds the functional foundation before we move into system configuration and transactions. In section 2, we move to the trading flow and configuration. Here we understand how securities transactions move through the system and how configuration tables control system behavior. This helps us connect the conceptual understanding with the practical workflow in Temenos T24. In section 3, we focus on important financial concepts. We learn about security positions, portfolio valuation, and accrual processing. These concepts help us understand how investment holdings and financial values are calculated inside the system. In section 4, we introduce the security master. The security master defines the structure of financial instruments. Here we understand how securities are defined in the system and the configuration differences between shares and bonds. In section 5, we configure equity instruments. This section explains how shares are configured in the security master and how trading parameters and market data are handled. In section 6, we move to bond concepts and configuration. Here we understand what bonds are, how they differ from shares, and the different types of bonds used in financial markets. We also learn why bond configuration requires additional fields such as coupon rates, maturity dates, and interest schedules. Next, in section 7, we prepare the system for trading. Before placing the first trade, several structural records must exist. In this section, we configure customers, brokers, depositories, and portfolio structures. We also understand the concept of security positions before executing transactions. In section 8, we perform our first trading transaction. Here we place an equity buy order and understand how orders are created and verified using system inquiries. In section 9, we explore portfolio management concepts. We learn what portfolio valuation is and why it is important in securities operations. We also see how portfolios can be blocked when trading restrictions are required. In section 10, we move to advanced trade processing. Here, we demonstrate how the system handles partial execution of trading orders. This helps us understand how the system manages situations where the full order quantity is not executed in the market. In section 11, we review the overall application processing flow. This section explains how transactions move through the life cycle, from order placement to execution, to trade creation, and finally settlement. We also analyze the SEC trade record, which represents the confirmed securities transaction inside Temenos T24. Finally, in section 12, we complete the life cycle with securities settlement. Here we learn how settlement is processed using the SC settlement application. This is where the financial transaction is completed, and both the securities position and cash movements are finalized. By the end of this course, you will clearly understand how securities transactions move through Temenos T24 from order placement all the way to final settlement. If you are learning the T24 securities module or working in banking technology or capital markets operations, this course will help you understand the complete workflow step by step. You can find the course link in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you inside the course.